Yeah.
Ay nga, nakapatong lang sa box. Oh.
There you go. We're live.
Wait. I'll open Kumu. Hold
Is it
on.
live on also on Facebook?
Live on Facebook, Kumu, and
How do you see the? Yeah, here. There, we're live. So I am gonna share this. Share? How do you share this? Can you share the Facebook, just? I hear.
Can you share the Facebook, Jess?
Sabi ni Tay.
hold up though. Hold up.
So what's up, guys? If you guys are already tuned in, currently have 2 viewers on Facebook. We're just waiting for Tyler, for our guest. Joss, how you been, boy?
I've been good. I've been watching the Boston Miami game. It's a crazy one, bro.
I
It's
think
going game
Miami is
seven.
up. Miami's up, right?
It's going game seven. We're going game seven. Miami by 6.
Ooh, that's tough. Who do you want? Who do you want the Golden State Warriors to go up against in the finals?
It really depends. Like I've already
Who
with
do you think is a better matchup?
in terms of matchups, I think I'd go with Boston
Mm-hmm.
as long as they stay healthy. And
So
I know
Boston.
everyone's
So
banged up in that team.
Marcus Smart on Steph, and then maybe Tatum on Clay,
Yeah,
Jalen Brown on Wiggins,
yeah, that could be.
Horford on Draymond. That's a good matchup.
That's a
Also
good
with
matchup.
Miami though, it's gonna be the same. Lowry on Steph. Um, who else? Jimmy on Clay, and then
Jimmy on
Bam
Clay,
Adebayo against Draymond.
Bam on Draymond.
So any team that makes it to the finals, it's gonna be a good matchup for the
That's
Golden
true.
State Warriors.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I I
But
totally agree. So we're just waiting for Ty. Did you message him, Just?
yeah, yeah, he said hold up. Just finishing up the game. He's also watching.
The NBA game?
Yeah, he was. He was watching. He's watching the NBA game.
It's done though. I think Miami's gonna win that,
Miami's gonna win that one.
or he can even watch it while he's live. Yeah, Miami up 6 with 40 seconds to go. I don't think there's a chance,
Yeah,
but
that's the
anything can happen in the game of basketball.
right. Let's.
Yeah, we currently have 6 viewers, so we're just waiting for Tyler to hop on. He's just finishing the NBA game. So Tyler's a huge NBA fan, if you guys didn't know. You ask him a lot of trivia about the NBA, he's gonna know that. He's actually a really huge NBA fan, just like a lot of us here in the Philippines. We can probably ask Ty some of the NBA stuff also later, just
Yep.
what team he's cheering
He's one of your co-hosts, right? And
for
NBA
NBA
NBA.
hype, but he hasn't been going this season because he's been busy with UAAP and then with the draft process and all
There
that.
you
So
go. There goes Ty.
Hello.
Here you
yes,
go.
Oh,
sir.
sorry. I was watching the Heat Boston game. My bad.
Yeah, we were also tuning
You
in
were
also,
watching.
but I think Miami's gonna get that one, Ty.
Me too, bro. I think it's gonna
Yeah,
be, especially at home. It's gotta be the Heat.
yeah. All
Sobrang
right,
big
so
momentum swing.
yeah, all right. So before we get into the episode, we're just gonna open things up. So welcome to the Next Man Up podcast together with Tyler Tio. So your hosts are me, Diego Dario, and of course my guy, Mr. Hot Takes, Gelo Vito, former UP Fighting Maroon also. So now we are actually, Ty, you are our first guest here in our podcast. So it's an honor to have you as our first guest.
Yep.
First
Wow.
of all, how has it been, bro? How has the draft process been? Congrats on signing the deal with Phoenix, and
Thank
we're
you.
just
Thank you.
excited what you're gonna do in the PBA. How has the process been for you?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me as your first guest. I didn't even know that I was your first, so that's extra
Yeah.
pressure on me. But thank you. Thank you. Uh, and regarding the process, it's been really fun. I think, of course, we all dreamed of playing professional basketball, and the fact that it's here, I guess, hasn't really hit me to the fullest yet because everything's happening so fast. But at the same time, I'm enjoying the process because everyone at Phoenix has been so welcoming. The veterans, the coaches, the management, everyone, and I'm just really thankful to be on this part of my journey now.
I heard you guys had a team building. How was that? Did
Mhm.
you go with them? How's that?
Yeah,
How's
yeah,
that been, bro?
it was fun. It was fun. We just enjoyed each other's company, and uh, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say exactly what we did,
All
but
right,
yeah,
you don't need to
we
skip.
enjoyed each other's company. They made the rookies dance a little bit for initiation, and yeah, we had really nice conversations with one another, some real talks, and I think it really helped us out chemistry
Yeah,
wise.
Tyler. Yeah, Tyler. Who's the veteran that welcomed you into the team? Because for sure, that's a question everyone asks. Like, who's that veteran who welcomed you openly in Phoenix?
Honestly, all the veterans. I mean, starting from our captain, Kuya RJ, he's been super welcoming. You know, just telling us how the culture is like in Phoenix, and Kuya Jake Pascual, who's been really helpful. Um, Perk, Sean Anthony, R. Garcia, all those guys, they've been super welcoming, and uh, it's honestly kind of like a college atmosphere wherein the veterans really mentor the rookies. So I was really happy with that.
And that's how the PBA has evolved. Also, before you would hear a lot of stories about vets maybe hurting some rookies in
Mhm.
practice, or giving them a little bit
Uh-huh.
to make just to introduce the PBA to them. But I think
Yeah.
the culture is slowly changing with the way the vets are welcoming the rookies, because I mean, the rookies are very important to a team, especially with the continuity of a program, of a culture, just like Phoenix. They've been very competitive the past few years. But Ty, how about you with deciding, actually, not even talking about your team right now, but deciding to enter the draft? What
Mhm.
made you decide to put your name out there?
I think it was a lot of factors, but the biggest factor was probably the 2 year pandemic. I think that messed up everyone's plans. And if you think about it, I should have been, like I should have been on my way to being a pro like last year. So
Mm-hmm.
the fact that everything was delayed really hurt me, and uh, the pandemic, of course, affected a lot of people. And I guess after talking with my coaches as well, and people in my circle, we all felt that this year is probably the best opportunity to enter, uh, because I mean, I played okay in my last year, and I felt like that was my best chance of being noticed by the PBA teams too.
Yeah, and with the draft, Ty, it's super important, the timing. I mean,
Hmm.
when I entered the draft, it was also when we made it to the finals, and I think that really helped with the draft process. Compared to Jello right here, he waited 1 year,
I
and that
waited 1 year.
kind of affected his draft
Mm.
stock, I would say, because it was a year after that we made it to the finals already. But Ty, how about let's go all the way back to your high school. I mean, you were a superstar in high school. We would hear your name. You were already in college. We would hear your name. You would score 30, 40. What was your career high in high school, Ty, if you remember?
Uh, I think it was 52 in high school.
And
Yeah,
was that the one against Jolo or no? That was a different
No,
game.
no, 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 no. I
that
had to
was in
go
grade
up,
two.
against
Yeah.
Kyle.
All right, so 52 points. So you were really a bucket getter since high school, right? But I remember also that you tried out for the national team. I think that was my batch. I remember training with you, Ty.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then one of the reasons why you weren't able to play was because of your Canadian citizenship. So if you guys didn't know, Ty was or is a Canadian citizen, and then he wasn't able. Were you able to? You didn't give that up, right? At that
Yeah.
point, that's why you weren't
Mhm.
able to play for the national team. How was that process been? I mean, that was an opportunity to play for the national team, Ty.
Yeah, I mean the process was pretty long, but I'm just thankful that we were able to get it done in time for the UAAP, and yeah, I mean just really happy that uh we were able to fix it right on
Mm-hmm.
time for my second year in the UAAP.
Yeah. And I remember that you also went to our one of our practices in UP, like
Mm-hmm.
right before you graduated from Xavier.
Mm-hmm.
So, how was it like from straight out of high school and transitioning into college? Like, what were the adjustments you had to take? Because again, in college, it's a different kind of level. It's a different level of physicality and the way coaching is. How was your
Yep.
adjustment then?
Uh, I think the biggest adjustment was transitioning from playing shooting guard to being a point guard, because like Diego said, in high school and grade school I was more of a scorer. So I was really looking for my own first back then. But when I
Mhm.
got to college, uh everyone's skilled, everyone's talented, everyone can score. So my role was to be a point guard, and I had to make sure that the team was flowing first offensively, and everyone was getting their touches before I looked for my shot.
All right, so I can actually relate to Ty in that sense because when I was in high school, also I was more of a two guard. Coach Allen transitioned me to becoming a point guard, but then I would still need to get points for our team that time. So that was also an adjustment for me,
Mhm.
going into college, Ty. But when you decided to go to Ateneo, what made you decide to go there? I mean, I'm sure a lot of schools were trying to recruit you also.
Uh, well, first is my brother and sister both went to Ateneo, so I guess you could say that there was some bias. The people giving me advice, there was some bias
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So yeah, and aside from that, I think back in third year high school, Ateneo actually invited me to go on a trip with them to train with
Mm-hmm.
Impact in Las Vegas. And ever since that trip, I felt like everyone was super welcoming. Uh, it felt like home when I went on that trip. And after that, I think you could say that I was 1 foot in Ateneo already.
Oh, that makes. I didn't know that. So you were already
Yeah.
kind of training a part of the family already with.
Mhm.
Was that time? Was it Coach Bo or was it Coach
Yep.
Tab already coaching the?
Coach
It
Bo, it's
was
like
it
final
was
year.
actually Coach Bo. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Final
so it
year.
was you trained with Coach Bo in
Yep.
Vegas. Oh, so you
Yep.
had a little bit of time playing for basically
Coach Bo.
technically under Coach Bo. What
Yep.
can you say about Coach Bo, bro? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure the some of the UP fans are excited also to know coming from an Ateneo and how was Coach Bo back then. Yeah.
Well, actually, I didn't get to spend that much time with him because the trip was about 1 or 2 weeks, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So that was the
Yeah.
only time that I experienced being under Coach Bo. And at the same time, it was more of a skills and weights camp. So it wasn't really
And they
Coach
will just
Bo.
oversee the
Yeah,
the training. Yeah.
they were just overseeing it. But from what I remember, Coach Bo was really super nice to me. I remember we went to practice at the same time together. He drove, and we were just talking about uh, what my future role on the team could be. And then, yeah, I just remember him being really nice, really welcoming, and definitely one of the factors why I thought Ateneo was a good place.
Yeah, Ty, let's talk about your very first year in the UAAP with Ateneo. I think that's with Coach Tab, right? First year of
Mm-hmm.
Coach Tab, if
And
I'm
you
not
also
Yep.
you had to sit out the first year, so you played
Yep.
with Team B also, right, Ty? Yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
Glory
Go,
be.
Jels, go ahead. Yeah.
So let's talk about first year Team B experience because
Mhm.
I personally came before I entered the UAAP. I was part of Team B. So how was it? What is the culture with Glory B? Because I know
Uh,
you guys are winning all those leagues in the Team B and like Father Martins and
yeah.
all of that. And how was the culture together working with Coach Yuri Escueta?
I think the biggest difference there was it was really light. Like basketball, being at practice every day was just all about enjoying the game, making yourself better, making mistakes. And I think that's what I'm most thankful for being in Glory B because under Coach Yuri, I was allowed to make my mistakes, learn from them, and the exposure was also really good because, as you said, I mean, you came from Team B. Lots of great players that moved on into the UAP came from their Team B program. So the competition was definitely really good and prepared me for the UAP.
Yeah, and I think that's crucial, especially with basketball going into the transition from high school to college, making mistakes, even in
Mm-hmm.
going to the pros. That's very important for rookies, but
Yep.
it just really depends on, the team that you're in, the situation that you're in, if your team can afford rookies to make mistakes, right? But that totally agree with you, Ty, when it comes to making mistakes. Very crucial in the development of hoopers. And then so
Mm-hmm.
you had that experience with Team B, Ty, and then
Mm-hmm.
you finally were lined up. I think that was in 2017. Was
Yeah.
your debut game against UP? I'm not sure if that's true.
Uh, our first game of the season was against Adamson, but a lot of people don't know that I sprained my ankle like 1 week before the season started. So
Hmm.
I couldn't play in that Adamson game, and I was hopped up on painkillers during that UP game, which enabled me to play. And thankfully, it was a good game for me.
And that was a game that I think you didn't miss, Ty. I think you had 14
Yeah,
points
Yeah.
straight. I think it was
yeah.
in that third quarter. For some reason, you loved that third
Yeah.
quarter, Ty. Can you talk about that experience? I mean,
Yeah.
your first ever
Mm.
game, it was against UP Battle of Katipunan, and then you played well. What was in your thought process? You were injured. I mean, that was amazing. I didn't even know you were injured.
Mm-hmm. Uh, Well, yeah, it was a surreal feeling. Definitely was super nervous coming into that game because it was my first UAP game and I was dreaming about this since I was a kid. So definitely nervous going into that game and excited at the same time. And I don't think I came in until the third quarter, right? If I remember
Yeah.
correctly. So I just my mindset was just to help the team out in whatever way I can, whether that's making shots to make a spark or just playing defense, being energetic on defense, whatever I could to help the team because that was my role.
And Ty, that's
I mean,
that's
I
what you
came in
did,
third
bro.
quarter. Yeah. And
I
then,
mean,
yeah,
we were.
thankfully,
I think it
after
was a
that first
close
shot,
game.
it felt good.
Yeah, I think it was a
Yeah.
close game that time, Ty. And then,
Hmm.
um, all of a sudden, this guy comes in, a rookie. I mean, we knew who you were, so we were
Hmm.
like, okay, this guy can make shots, so make sure you close out on him. But I think it was Jarrell who was guarding you, and then I think both players from Savior, and then we were like, this guy is killing us. Third quarter, I think most of your points came from the third quarter,
It
and
came from the third.
Yeah.
It all came
yeah,
from the third.
and
Yep.
then that's where you guys just pulled away. So
Uh-huh.
we were like, damn, this guy's gonna be a problem for a long, long time in the UAP. Um, Ty, how about your the culture in Ateneo? We're just very curious because
Yeah.
Hmm.
Ateneo has been a very consistent program, especially under Coach Tab. Um, you guys, for some reason, anyone off the bench would produce. They're always ready. but you guys play the same, whether it's the first five, the second five, the third five. Maybe the talent
Mhm.
level is not the same, but the way you guys play, the way you guys execute is the same.
Mhm.
We just want to like maybe take a sneak peek of how it is in the Ateneo culture, because I honestly believe this with all of my heart that Ateneo really made the level of basketball higher when you guys came in, when Coach Tab came in. It made the coaches better. It made the players
Mhm.
better in how they read the game. Can you tell us how it is in Ateneo?
That's a good point actually because like you said, the level of competition was higher. I definitely felt that during the last season where UP was really, I mean, they looked like a really well-oiled machine kind of team, and props to them for that. And going back to the culture of Ateneo, I think everything starts at practice. I think it's the way we practice. Every day we go hard. Every day we, no matter what it is, whether it's skills training or weightlifting, set plays, out of bounds, whatever it is, we make sure to give it our all so that when it comes to the game, it's easy. It's actually, for me personally, it's harder in practice than it is in the games because that's how much we compete against each other. And me personally, I was blessed to play against point guards like Matt Nieto, SJ Belangel every single day, and that definitely made me better, and I hope I made them better too.
You know, Ty, I don't know if you know the story or if you're even part of this. The first Ateneo Lasal game of Coach Tab, not in the UAAP, but in the Father Martins, where you
Oh,
guys were blown out
I
by
was there.
Lasal by a lot. Like this
Mm-hmm.
Lasal was a Geron thing, Ben and Bala,
Yep.
Perkins. And I heard stories that this changed everything for you guys. That game changed for everything for you guys. So
Yeah.
take us through that game and what really changed start from that point.
Actually, that wasn't just Coach Tab's first Ateneo Lasal game. That was my first ever college game. So
Wow.
definitely trial by fire. I mean, uh, we had guys like Thomas Torres beating us up before we even crossed half court. Kib Montalvo. They had rookies like Aljun, Richie Rivero. Then they had Ben Embala, Jeron, like you mentioned. So those guys were ready to to pound us, and we weren't ready at all. So I think that was a huge wake up call for me personally and for the entire team because we just weren't ready physically and mentally. So ever since that game, I think Coach Tab just turned the switch in his head, which made him push us harder every day, and in turn that made us better too.
So in terms of like weightlifting, you guys kind of leveled up when it comes to
For sure,
lifting,
for sure.
to make sure that you don't get bodied up.
Yep. I think that was the
And how
game that
about yeah?
really showed me how physical it was going to be in the UAP. So I think after that game, if I'm not mistaken, we went twice a day every day after that game. Morning was weights and skills, and then afternoon was the team practices.
I mean, that's what losing does to you, especially when you go up against strong teams, right? It's just really a wake up
Yep.
call. But also, I've heard stories, Ty, that when you guys do film, it's not just the usual 20 minute film, 30 minute
Mm-hmm.
film. That it's literally detail by detail where you're standing. If you're not in the dead corner, if you're two steps ahead, that's also like something that you guys look at. Can you tell us about that? How, the attention to detail of Coach Tab and of the whole coaching staff of Ateneo.
Yeah, that's exactly spot on. Like, we'd come into film, and the edited film would be like 4 or 5 minutes, but
Yeah.
we know deep down that we're gonna be in there for like 2 3 hours. So we just sit back,
How does that work?
we just
Five
sit
minutes?
back,
Yeah.
relax, because every play, everyone has a breakdown, something like that. So, like you said, if you're not sitting in the dead corner, then Coach Sab will tell you, he'll get in your face and be like, you're helping the defense out when you do that, and you're hurting your teammate when you do that because that extra 1 or 2 steps could be the difference between, him getting you an open shot or him getting an open driving lane, something like that. So those little details definitely matter in terms of executing your system perfectly.
All
And
right.
then
So
and then when it comes to last one, just I'll just have a follow up. When it comes to like ball screens, because I feel like all the Ateneo guards are so good at ball screens. Like what do they teach you? I mean, I'm not sure if you're gonna be giving out the secrets, but I mean you're done with Ateneo. I think you can already say this, but when you come off a pick and roll, I'm gonna try to
Mhm.
pick your brain also as a point guard. What do they tell you to look at first? What's your first option and all that? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think the coaches do a really good job of telling us what our options are. That's the one thing. I think for me personally, when I come off a ball screen, there's a checklist in my head. So first
mhm.
is you gotta set up your man. Second is you gotta look at what he does. So is he going under? Is he going over? And then from those, whatever he does there, there's different options. So after that, once you get that down, you gotta look at what the screener's man is doing. Is he mushing? Is he bluing? Is he hard showing? After that, once you have your counters for that, you gotta look at what the help defense is doing. So you gotta look if the
The
guy's
next
tagging
level.
on the roll. Is he tagging on the roll? Is he staying? Is he cheating? Is he just faking the tag? Things like that. So I think it has to be a checklist. And me personally, I haven't perfected it, and I'm trying to every day just get better at those options and at reading, at perfecting the skills that are required to counter those. And I think it's just a work in progress every day, and it'll take a lot of time, of course. But once you get those basics in the checklist, I think that should be a good start.
And before we go to jealous questions, these are the things that I think basketball fans, maybe kids watching at home, should listen to because basketball. If you look at the film, if you watch on TV, it looks simple, right? You're
Mm-hmm.
moving the ball around, you're using a pick and roll. If you're open, you take it. But these are the reads that came from you already, Ty. That you're reading a
Mm-hmm.
lot of different situations. And that's the next level. I mean, you're still in college in the pros. They do that a lot. I think it's gonna be easier for you, Ty, in the pros just because of the talent level in the pros. Like, a lot of them, a lot of your teammates can make buckets. So I think it's a little bit gonna be easier when it comes to, you know, you won't really see a lot of pressuring
Mm-hmm.
in the PBA. Just how probably UP pressured you guys. But just
Yeah.
go ahead. I think you have a
Yeah,
question.
speaking of ball screens, like what do
Mm-hmm.
you look for? Let's say because I'm a big man, so I usually set the ball screens. Like, what do you
Mm-hmm.
usually look at when your big sets a screen, or how he sets a screen, or where do you want him to roll, or what? Like, what's your thought process during in a two-man game? Just take us through it shortly, lang.
Uh, well, like you said, it's a two-man game, so both of you guys have to be in tune, and you guys have to know what the defense is doing. So let's say, for example, if it's a hard show, then the big and the guard has to know that it's a short roll, automatic. Both of you have to know that. It can't just be the big short rolling and then you don't know where the big is, or you're looking for the short roll and all of a sudden the big's gone. He's leaving you on an island against two people. So things like that. You have to be in tune, and there's different options. Like I said, if it's a
Yeah.
slideshow, automatic
Yeah.
pocket pass, it's a mush, delayed roll. So both of you guys have to know that, and you have to be in sync. I think that's the most important part.
Since we're talking about ball screen coverages, right? I mean, okay, Ty, you're a three-time UAP champ. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Three-time UAP champ, and then this season, um, all of a sudden, the UP Fighting Moons. I don't know what they ate. I don't know what they worked on. They probably did. I honestly, what I thought during the finals, they did what Ateneo has been doing
It's been
for
doing.
has been doing for years. They kind of just figured that out this year.
Mm-hmm.
And how has that experience been in the finals? Very similar defenses when it comes to denying,
Mm-hmm.
the passing lanes, disrupting the
Yep.
offense, pressuring, right? Like, how does it feel to have a team? You're going up against a team that's kind of similar with how you guys are playing defensively.
It was a real challenge. I mean, like you said, I don't know what they ate, but those guys weren't getting tired at all, and they're pressuring the whole game, denying passing lanes. The bigs were hard showing, and for some reason, they were able to recover right away, even though they're 7 feet tall. And Diouf, shout out to Diouf. That man's special. I mean, so he killed
Workhorse.
us, and
Yeah.
um, and then yeah, like you said, those guys just they were hungry on defense, and uh, the energy level that they put out each and every game in the finals was really it made it difficult for us to run our offense.
All right. So
Just
anyway, Tyler, so now the UAP finals is done and all of that. You've already finished all your playing years. Now let's talk about the process. Like since right after the UAAP finals, was it already a sure thing that you were gonna enter the draft? Like you knew right away before UAP ended, you knew that you were gonna enter the draft, or you're like thought about entering other leagues or checking out overseas? What was the process been like after UAP?
Um, I think during the season, I mean, sorry, before the season, I wasn't really sure what I was gonna do because I wasn't even sure if there was gonna be a UAP. I mean, if you remember, they were saying 2 years ago and the year before that there was gonna be a
yeah,
season, and then it
Yeah.
didn't push through. So
Yeah.
when we were preparing for this season, that was still in the back of my mind that it might not push through. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet. And thankfully, when it did push through during the season, I felt like uh, I played well enough that my I would have some draft stock. So during that time, I felt I talked to my coaches first and foremost, Coach Tab, the assistant coaches, and I asked them what they think I should do. And yeah, after those talks, they gave me advice, whether they think I was ready or not for the pros, and they were all really supportive when I made the decision that I was gonna go pro. And I told them that probably around first round, I think I already told them that I've decided I'm gonna put my name in the draft. It just came out later, and yeah, from that point on, that I tried to put that in the back of my mind and just focus on the season so that there'd be no more distractions.
yeah. But technically, Ty, do you still have playing years for the UAP?
Yeah, I have one more. One more.
You have one more pa dapat for going for
Mm-hmm.
next year. But sorry if we're gonna go back to the UP finals. I just wanna like pick
Yeah.
your brain also. Um, how is the atmosphere? I mean, Battle of Katipunan has always
Mm-hmm.
been it's becoming a new rivalry now,
Mm-hmm.
especially after that second round game that was an intense game. But in the finals, what was the difference between season 81, where it was the first time UP made it to the finals, and then now it was like a rematch in
Mm-hmm.
season 84?
Because of the atmosphere, I don't think there was that big of difference because I think both times UP had more people in the stands. So both both of those finals, UP's crowd was louder. So I mean that's nothing against the Ateneo crowd. It was just that
Mm,
I think they were severely outnumbered, and that's more of props to the UP community for that. And the atmosphere was super exciting to play in, and it was like what 2 or 3 years since the last time I played in that kind of atmosphere. So it was definitely fun, and uh, all I could say was every time UP made a run, it was tough to stop that momentum because of that crowd. And
yeah, so
I think
you're
that's
feeling
a
it.
huge
Yeah.
plus. That's a huge plus for the UP community and for the UP team. Sorry.
And because when you talk about the UP and Ateneo crowd, it's very different from, let's say, an Ateneo LaSalle crowd, where
Mm.
they kind of, there's like a rivalry when it comes to long time rivalry. Actually, a lot
Uh
of
huh.
stories if we're gonna talk about the Ateneo LaSalle rivalry, right? But when you talk
Mm-hmm.
about Ateneo UP crowd, a lot of families actually have kids from Ateneo, at the same
Mm-hmm.
time kids from UP. Probably the mom and the dad went to UP. The mom went to
Yeah.
UP. The dad went to Ateneo. Like a lot of situations like that. Because I
Yep.
mean, a lot of my friends are have that similar situation when it comes to that. So I
I
think
do too,
it's
actually.
yeah, it's a bit fun when it comes to the UP Ateneo crowd, because it's like a friendly, how do you say
Friendly
this?
rivalry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
I
friendly
mean,
rivalry. So yeah,
Yeah, I would say that that's the perfect uh, term to describe it. Friendly rivalry for the crowd, but for the players, for sure, it
No,
was straight up. We were just
Yeah.
no.
battling. We just wanted to win, and of course, off the court it's a different thing. But on the court, you could tell that the players did not like each other on the court. It was physical,
Yeah.
and that's what basketball's supposed to be, right? So it was fun to be a part of that.
Okay, last few questions, Ty, before we end this. Um, I mean, you won three championships with Ateneo. This time, of course, UP got one, but it could have gone both ways in that game three, right?
Hmm.
And hindsight will always be 2020. What do you think, or maybe at one point, what pinpoint like possession could you think that you guys could have done better, or not even just one possession, or just in general, for you guys could to really maybe try to improve on in that game. Maybe the other Ateneo people are listening, also Ateneo players, coming into the next finals. Maybe if they go up against UP again, they can learn from what you're about to say.
Hmm. Um, I don't think I can pinpoint just one or a few possessions. I think both teams had good moments and bad moments. For us personally, I think honestly it came down to breaks of the game. I mean,
Yeah,
like you
Yeah,
said, we were there. We were up
agree.
five at one point, and it's
Six. You
just
guys are up
six.
six.
We're up six. Thank you for that. Thank you for that reminder. And so yeah, we were up six, and I think at that point, like I said, breaks of the game. Players made big shots. Uh, One offensive rebound here or there. Maybe things are different, right? Or maybe one layup goes in from SJ. If
yeah, I
Abs
saw that.
didn't inadvertently tip that out, maybe things would be different. Or if Mai didn't get that offensive rebound and hit that crazy
3 pointer. Yeah.
dribble out three, things would probably be different. So I mean, and let's not forget that CJ Cancino bank shot three for
Back shot
overtime.
three.
Oh
I
yeah, that's
mean,
crazy.
I mean, what do you want us to do, man? You're right there. You're right there. What else can
Yeah,
we do? I mean, SJ was
and
Yeah.
right there
also,
challenging that shot. I don't know what
yeah.
else we could have done, right?
But I heard, I'm not sure if it was Coach Sandy or Coach Tab. You guys were like every time CJ was inside, you guys were like trying to attack CJ because you guys
Attack.
knew that he wasn't 100%, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure if it was that the Coach Sanders, like or probably another assistant coach, or he won't dribble, he's just gonna catch and shoot. Like I heard
Uh-huh.
some words like that. Was that true? Like was that really the game plan against CJ? But he was just making shots.
It was just
To
making
be
shots.
honest, to be honest, I don't think anyone on our team expected CJ to play. I mean, from what we were hearing, I thought he tore his patella or something, broke his
Yeah, he
patella, something like
dislocated
that.
his
So
patella.
Dislocated his patella.
yeah, so he wasn't. We weren't really focusing on him in our scouting report like we were in the past games because we thought he was out. So that surprised us. That's one. And second, we didn't expect him to be hitting all those shots coming off that
That's
injury.
crazy.
So
We
Yeah,
didn't
like
expect that
what,
even
too,
us
Ty.
from the UP side, bro. Even us from the UP side, we
right?
didn't expect him to like make those threes.
What was that? 16 points in 14 minutes, something like that. So
Yeah,
he was a huge lift for them. And respect to CJ, man, playing on one leg, risking your future just to help out your team. I mean, if that's not a champion, then I don't know what else is, man. So huge props to
Yeah.
CJ. And I mean, like you said, he made big shots coming off an injury. So what else? What else can we do, man?
Yeah, I
Man
know
was
that says
playing
a lot
The team
about
was playing
CJ, bro.
inspired. Man was playing on one leg, hitting bank shot threes from 30 for overtime. What else can we do?
Yeah, I know. Crazy. That's crazy. I mean, Ty, um, okay, UAAP's done. Sorry, UP had to beat you guys for your last year in the UAAP. But we're happy for you. You got drafted in
yeah,
the PBA.
Hmm.
Actually, Ty, this year in the UAAP, you were like one of the best players off the bench. And I
yeah.
personally think that this experience kind of will help you in the PBA because obviously you're gonna be playing behind some of the vets in Phoenix, right? That's just gonna be a fact. But how do you think that's gonna help you? This experience of coming off the bench, being ready, going into the pros, and also what do you think can you improve going into the pros?
Mhm. Well, yeah, like you said, the fact that I was coming off the bench meant that I had to be ready all the time. That's one. And second, I had to be super efficient because I was only given a limited amount of playing time. And if I don't do well in those limited minutes, then I don't know how many more shifts I'll see after that. So,
Yeah,
if I don't do well in the, let's say, two shifts that I have that are, pretty much guaranteed, then I don't know if I'll see a third one. So I have to do well in those two shifts, and uh, I think that kind of pressure, it's a different kind of pressure. Jag. I mean, you came off the bench too.
yeah,
You know what that
yeah.
pressure is like coming off the bench, and coaches expect you to be as reliable, if not even solve some
Produce right
problems.
away.
Yeah, even solve some problems that the starting five had. So it's a different type of pressure that guys coming off the bench feel, and I think that'll definitely help me for the pros because, like you said, we have guys that are established, guys that already know what they're doing for the past what 10, 12 years. So yeah, I think it's a good place for me to start and hopefully flourish as well.
Yeah, I like Ty. Lastly, since PBA is starting next week,
Mhm.
June 5 opening. What are the adjustments or what are the things that you think you should improve on entering your very first PBA game?
Well, for me personally, I don't think I don't think there's enough time, but my main focus is really to up my strength physically. I think I need to bulk up a little bit, add some muscle, but I don't think there's time for this conference. So I guess that'll be more of a long-term goal in terms of improvement. And for this season, I think I mean I I think I have to see first. I mean, I have to see what the competition is like, and based on the past two practice games that we played, uh, I think it's been a good start for me. And I just need to, fine tune some things in terms of reads, I guess, and get more reps up with the new PBA ball. Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah, all right. Ty, we can't wait to see you on the court, especially in the pros. I mean, Ty, I've been training with you together with Better Basketball. I know what you can do. I know you haven't really showed us your full bag yet, and we're hoping to see that here in the
hmm
PBA, and we're just excited for you, bro. Again, congratulations for getting drafted, for signing with Phoenix, and
Thank you,
we
thank
can't
you,
wait to see you. Thanks for your
thank you,
time,
guys.
brother.
Thank you guys for
Congrats.
having me as your first
Thank you
guest.
guys. Thank you, Ty.
Yes, sir. And for all the listeners, make sure to listen to our episode 3. So basically, I could say this is episode 4 with Ty, but episode 3 we talked about the PBA awards, the Sea Games um, happenings with the women's and the men's team, and also the PBA 3x3. So take a look at that episode also. And that was a fun conversation with my guy Jello. And for Jello and I, this has been this episode with Tyler. Tyler, thanks again, and Jello, thank you for your insights as well.
For sure. Thank you,
Peace.
guys.